Hi, it's Jason here again from Learn Photography HQ. A lot of people ask me, as a professional photographer, a lot of people ask me about like manual versus auto. Like we go to events all the time, we see people look at the camera and the camera's set to the little green dial we've got here. You know what I mean? In auto, the camera does an okay job if you've got the right lighting, if you've got the full light on the subject, full light on the background. The camera will do a pretty good job there. So that might be good if you're not really worried about the photo at the end. If you just want to have some photos, just some a quick capture, that might be fine. But if you're actually really interested about what you want to shoot, well then you need to start to get into some of the modes of the cameras. So after the green square comes the P for professional. Or so some people say. The P for professional is actually program mode. What that basically does, that allows you to do adjust auto. So if you're in auto mode, you're trying to change the settings, you can't do it, the camera won't let you. In P mode, the camera will let you, but each time you take a photo, you have to readjust again. P is, it's okay, but it's definitely not what I would use as a professional photographer. So the next mode we're going to talk about is TV, time value. Time value basically lets you say to the camera, I want to pick the shutter speed. The camera will pick everything else. So the camera picks the aperture, the ISO, everything else. Basically you put the camera in auto except for the shutter speed. Okay, so the next mode that we're going to talk about is AV, which is your aperture. Your aperture controls your depth of field on your photo. So basically you want to do a nice portrait where you want a nice sharp photo and a blurry background. That's what aperture value does. That's what the AV mode does. One of the considerations of this mode is that the camera will control everything else. Just like in TV, AV, the camera will control the shutter, the ISO, everything else is controlled by the camera, but you tell the camera what aperture you want to shoot at. The last dial we're going to talk about is M. M's for manual. As a professional photographer, all I use is M. I don't use any of the other modes. The beauty about using M is you can control your aperture, your shutter, your ISO, and you can control them in conjunction all together. That's the beauty about M. As a professional photographer, I wouldn't use anything else. We're going to talk a little bit more about these modes in detail on a couple of the other videos. So head over to learnphotographyhq.com for a lot more information and a lot more detailed tutorials all about what we've been talking about here in our camera modes.